I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam. When residents of Ingleside on the Bay reached out with concerns about those boats on the water, I set out to get them answers. Here's what I found.
Boats on the water of Ingleside Cove are nothing new, but a certain type of boat has started appearing more and more.
We call them derelict boats. They're sinking and they're submerging, and then they're going to be unseeable hazards.
When longtime Ingleside on the Bay resident Stephen Wilder reached out to KRIS 6 News for help, I knew we needed to get an up-close look at those boats for ourselves.
Are those also some of the ones that have just been sitting there, or are those ones?
Most of these have shown up in the last couple months. You know, the big hazard to me is when they sink and nobody does anything, and I run across there in my boat and cause, you know, $10,000, $20,000 of damage.
But if the boats are a problem, why aren't they removed? Talking with Wilder, I discovered it's a bit more complicated. I was directed to 4 agencies: the Port of Corpus Christi, the Coast Guard, Texas Parks and Wildlife, and the General Land Office. Of the 4, 2 got back to me. I spoke with Frank McDaniel, a senior response officer with GLO. What I learned is that the process to remove these boats takes time, over a month in some cases. He also told me it's very costly. For reference, a 40-foot sailboat could cost between $25,000 and $30,000 to remove, and the General Land Office doesn't have funds set aside for said removals. They only obtain it through grants and similar means. But as I saw, some of these boats' time above the water may not be for long.
I don't have a problem with anything as long as, but when you're coming and dumping your trash that you don't want to pay rent on or you don't have anything on and dumping it in my backyard, I'm going to have an issue.
While removing the boats may take time, neighbors are encouraged to report any abandoned boats like the one you saw to the General Land Office. Reporting in Ingleside on the Bay, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam, for KRIS 6 News.